All right, let's go. So today's call topic, part one of our skills series. Starting with this is going to kind of be one and two, but I really titled it "Desire is the Starting Point" because it doesn't matter how skilled you are, like how much you think you know, or how much you really know, or whatever it is. If you don't even understand or are aware of what your desire level is, we're not going nowhere. So I want to kind of kick it off with that as well. And I actually meant to talk about this first. I'll do it at the end. It's no big deal. Some announcements. But starting it off, guys, I want to talk about three main things on today's call. If y'all are taking notes, first is that desire level. Second, I want to briefly touch on your mindset. If you're thinking from a place of abundance or a place of scarcity, with that, those are going to control not only if you plant seeds, but the type of seeds that you're planting. And then to wrap it up, just kind of give a starting point on prospecting and inviting. Okay. So I actually wrote down a couple things that I wanted to share with you guys that I think are going to be super, super helpful. It was cool. Last night we did a call. Crystal kind of put it together with some of the team that felt like they I guess they wanted to leverage each other with another layer of accountability. I love to see it and kind of put the call together. There was 8, 9 of them on the call last night, and it was cool. I was like, dang, all of y'all have your cameras on, like, let's go. I love the energy. And Crystal put that on and it was just really cool, kind of kicked it off. So I actually was inspired by a few things that we talked about last night that I'm going to share with you guys today. So if you're on that call last night, you're getting a little double dose. It's all good. Repetition is the mother of all skills. So I actually was listening to, if you guys don't know who he is, maybe write his name down, check him out. His name's John Melton. If you see his face, you're like, oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's phenomenal. And what was cool is I watch him here and there. I don't watch him all the time, but I like some of his stuff. And he's in network marketing. He's been in the profession, I think now for about 2 decades. He's kind of like right up there in a way with, I would say, Ray Higdon, and just his level of mastery, his mindset. And I watched a video yesterday. It was about things you should do every day that will help you grow your business. And he talked about quite a few different things. And one of the things that I actually just wanted to share with you guys to kind of kick this off is, one, your commitment level. I think it's important to know, I guess, starting off with desire, knowing what your level of commitment is. Okay. I think we have to know where we're aiming, and our goals have to match our commitment. So I would say to kind of start off, knowing what your desire level is here. What I kind of mentioned to everybody last night is, look, maybe you're in a place right now where you have somewhat of a team, you're platinum 150, P600, platinum 1000, whatever. Okay. You have kind of a gauge and understanding of where you're at inside of your business, or maybe you're in a position where, okay, cool. Like, I'm working on, hitting that first rank, that platinum 150 marker. You have to recognize not only where you're at, but where do you want to go, and where, what's really calling you? Where's your heart? And I think it's really important that we're leading with our heart, because if we get caught up, with the emotions of everything, we don't really have the right mindset in check, things like that, we're going to be all over the place. We're going to be, and I've been there, where you're just, you're wishy-washy, you're here nor there. You don't really have a clear understanding and desire of like why you're here and where you're going. And it shows in your actions. We don't ever do anything that we don't believe. Like, if you don't really believe that you can make this thing happen, you're not going to put in the work, to go out and create that. So I think it's important, and just to be real. It doesn't matter what it is. Just be real. I assume everybody on this call, you have a desire to make a difference, to make an impact, to build this business, to build your leadership, to build your influence, and obviously your mindset around, what it takes to build great relationships and understand, that process. You guys are here for that reason. But really get clear on that for yourself, because we can say one thing and then our actions are going to show another. Your actions will always show you what what's important to you, what's truly a priority, what you truly believe is possible. So I encourage you guys, after this call sometime, some of you guys maybe are like, no, Abby, I'm already with it. Like, I know, and it shows up in my actions every single day. And some of us, maybe, we're here and there. Our commitment isn't consistent yet. And that's where we want to get to a point. You got to start where you're at. If you're not, let's say, for example, if you're not prospecting 20, 25 people a day, which I don't do that. I do about 15. Okay. 15 people, average, consistent. You gotta choose somewhere that you can work with and then you can build on. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. So number one, know where you're at. Number two, know where you're aiming. Where do you want to go? What is that desire in your heart that's calling you? And know that desire isn't always going to be comfortable. Most of the time, it's not. Like, you're going to feel good in the moment. I think this is important because growth isn't pretty. It's a lot of discomfort. Sometimes it's even, emotional, mental pain that you're going to experience because you're stretching yourself outside your comfort zone. Okay. But that desire level is going to call you. But then it's time to grow. Then it's time to, really go do the work and really stretch ourselves. Okay. So know where you're going, what's really calling you. And when you set those goals for yourself, you have to recognize, okay, cool. I have a goal of platinum 600 by XYZ date. Okay. The date is just to reverse engineer the work. I don't get so caught up on the date. It's just because if I don't, it's not like, oh, if I don't hit it, I don't hit it. Like, I'm really focused on, like, no, like, we're going to do this by this date. And if we come up short, it's by a little bit. It's not by, because we didn't do the work. So that goal date that you set for yourself is to reverse engineer the work ethic required. Okay. So you choose that, you design that. So you know your goal, know kind of that deadline date, what it looks like. Okay. I write down every single morning. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am making an extra $10,000 a month as a Chairman 10 and have launched and developed 10 new Platinum 1000s by June 1st, 2022. That is my goal. I write it down every single day. I read it off every single evening, on my notebook that I have. And it's very clean. It's very clear. It's plain, plain in view. And this is what my desire is. So you guys have to know that for yourself and just recognize whatever your goals are. You also have to make sure that your commitment matches that. Okay. It's like, I want to go, Platinum 2000 by May 1st. Okay. What's your work look like? Are you prospecting every day? Are you getting those exposures every day? Are you getting me in three-way calls, three-way group chats? That's important. Cool. Everybody understand desire is a starting point. I'm no expert on that topic, but I just wanted to kind of open it up with that because it's important to be aware. But I'm sure you guys could listen to people like Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Alex Morton talks about it. You guys can go tap into that. Okay. Second thing is I wanted to just briefly touch on not prospecting, planting seeds. Okay. Planting seeds. And I guess I'm a little bit talk about prospecting as well with this, but planting seeds. It's very important to recognize when you are talking to people. So kind of getting into that first skill of prospecting and seeing if people are open, potentially inviting them to see what we've got. Okay. All you're doing is you're planting a seed. I think sometimes we can get really frustrated with the activity because we're so focused and concerned on the result. We're so kind of addicted in a way, even if we don't realize it, we are. And trust me, I still get this way sometimes, and I'm, got to catch myself in the actual process. But we can get so addicted to the response of other people and the outcome and that result. And like, I think one of the biggest reasons why people like just stop, it's not even like building, it's like trading in anything. It's because they're rushing their process. You have given yourself an IQ date. You have an expiration date, an I quit date on your ability to accomplish what you came here to do. And when you do that, you don't actually give yourself the ability to fully grow. I'm going to give you all an example. I said this last night on the call. This was like, some of y'all looked at me like I had 3 eyes on my face when I said this, but John Melton, I encourage you guys to look him up. I'll send something in the chat so you guys can see. He's great. I love I love his mentality. And don't take everything by the book that they say. Everybody has scripts. Everybody has everything they talk about. I'm looking for their perspective. That's why I listen to a lot of what these guys say. But last night when I shared this, it was pretty powerful. It actually was empowering for me. Okay. So John has been in the profession for about two decades, 20 years. And he said it took him 7 years to go full time in network marketing. And I was like, 7 years. Now, granted, I'm not saying it's going to take y'all 7 years. He was in a different company. He don't got what we got. Like, we have the ability to make money, multiply money, learn a skill set that will set you free as a customer and get paid. Come on. But network marketing as a whole, I know it's a little different than obviously trading, but network marketing, okay, building a business. It took him about 7 years to go full time, but he was doing it part time. Everybody starts out part time, and nobody's doing this like truly full time unless you are full time. But you can't go full time until you appreciate the part time. Okay, so he said that, and I was like, wow, 7 years, okay. And then he follows it up, and he was like, get this, it took me 16 years to become a billionaire in network marketing. And I was like, holy cow. And it's crazy if you think about it. Like, those people come in and they give it like 30, 60, 90 days and they out. 16 years to make a mil. Can y'all stay? Can y'all stick and stay? Really, it's like the money matters, but what matters more is like what you're doing with it anyways. I read it in the book I was reading last night, Secrets to the Millionaire Mind. And he said, like, rich people understand that it's about what you make, what you keep, and what you can multiply, what you can go put to work. So like, you could have some money, but like, if you don't know what to do with it, it doesn't matter. But I wanted to just share that with you to give you some perspective about your process, because sometimes we can get so frustrated with the activity because we're so addicted to somebody's response or to the outcome of whatever we're saying in conversation, or are they going to sign up or whatever. It's like, come on, like, it's about like obviously helping people, but if you're so controlled and attached to like what other people are saying, like, you're not going to last. Like, you're going to get so eaten up emotionally. It's going to kick you. Like, it's not like, this isn't going to be sustainable. So I'm trying to give you guys a bigger picture. I'm not saying it's going to take 7 years. I'm not going to say it's going to take 16, but what I am saying is, what if it takes some time? Are you okay with that? Some of us is like, Abby, it's been taking some time. I'm here. Like, flag is planted. We're going to get this right. I'm with you. I'm like, I don't see anything else. Like, we're going to get this. Cause if you can do it here, I believe you can do it anywhere. Okay. But don't be so addicted to people's responses. Like, that's why people get out the game too early, is because they get discouraged because of what other people are saying. And it's like, who cares? I know where I'm going. Like, sometimes I have to listen to Alex Morton's videos, just, 30 seconds, a minute. I'm giving you all this because sometimes like we can get so like out the game, discouraged, whatever, bitter, okay, about this game. And sometimes I just got to go back and listen to people like him or Jason or whoever you look up to, and just recognize like, nah, like we got it. Like, we got the sauce. Like, we really are in a good position, and, kind of feed off of their energy, borrow their level of belief. Alex Moore, I saw him post that video on his Instagram the other day. It was of him when he was back in his first company and he was on stage. I don't know if some of you guys saw it. It was like a 30-second clip. And he was like going crazy with the microphone, like yelling. Like, I was like, I have not ever heard you speak like that. So sometimes you got to tap into that and refocus yourself. So, okay. So with that, guys, planting seeds, we can't get so frustrated in our process that we knock ourselves, off track. We have to recognize that when we're talking to new people, when we're talking to people in general, the follow-up, the whatever, every part of that, you initially plant the seed, and then what you're doing after is you're watering it. So every conversation, every interaction, even every post that you make on social media, whatever it is, follow up, okay, you are watering that seed. And John even said in the video last night, the guy I was watching, he was like, most of the people I get started, I've been talking to them for like 6 months, a year, 2 years plus. Like, and when I look back at everyone that I've actually gotten started, most of them didn't say yes because they saw a video yesterday and they got started today or last week. Most of them take some time. Now, you can speed up that process if you can get them connected to a third-party credibility. I said this last night on the call, you can edify yourself to success. You want to go platinum 150? How many not only exposures are you getting, planting seeds, like how many seeds are you planting, but how many of those people are you getting connected with, let's say myself? Like my goal now, like I already know I can get, consistently 2 to 3 exposures a day. That's like a sweet spot. Like that's perfect. It's about consistency. It's not about intensity. Okay. But my focus now is like when I have conversations with Mike and Christian, I have them in a group chat. They're both so busy. It's like pulling teeth trying to confirm a 3-way call. But I'll send in the chat, hey, can either of you do a call at this time or this time? You guys have some time, Thursday, or a 3-way group chat if it's easier. Most of the time it's a chat because they're both like, Mike's 3 hours ahead, Christian's doing his, his thing, whatever. So like my focus now is like how many 3-ways, group chats, calls, whatever, can I get my uplines, my mentors in a connected with my prospects every week? Because I know eventually those seeds are going to grow, and you don't know which seed that you're talking to is ready to grow, is ready to take on opportunity. Okay. And that's why we are consistent. And that's why, honestly, guys, it's so much bigger than just like, okay, I'm gonna talk to people to build this business and collect a check. Like it's not about that. What it's about for me, and you have to like kind of establish this for yourself, is I want to lead by example. And so whether people get started now or later, like I'm going to still be that constant that you'll look back in 12 months and 24 months and 36 months and whatever, and I'm going to still be here because I'm consistent, because I keep my word, because I keep showing up, because I keep getting better, because I master what I say I'm going to do. So getting clear on that for yourself. So all we're doing here, guys, is we're just planting seeds. And when you follow up, when you show up on your socials, your whatever, documenting, that's why we say like do the weekly meetups, because it's not only for that, but it's about building your culture. Like what kind of culture does your city have? Does your area have? That's important, because y'all know when we went to the convention the other week, like Arizona showed up. Will your city show up at the next convention? What type of culture are you cultivating? And it starts in person. It doesn't start over Zoom. I mean, it will start over Zoom. You all get my point, but it will build and blossom and grow in person, where you can break bread, where you can really like meet people on a personal level, get to know like where are they at? Where do they want to go? How do they want to contribute? Okay. So alrighty. So what you're doing, guys, with your marketing or whatever, that's watering the seeds, your follow-ups, posting that you're with your team, posting that you're doing whatever. Like all of that is indirectly watering those seeds until somebody is ready. And all it takes is that one follow-up, and they're like, yeah, you're right. Let's do this. Okay. And you've got to know, like, posture comes from, I think, keeping your commitments, keeping your word, but also being so convicted in where you're going, being excited about where you're going. Like nobody can tell me nothing about this. Like, you have not seen what I've seen. Okay. I know where I'm going. Do you? And so you develop that posture over time, but you keep that excitement and that enthusiasm will bring you there. Okay. Alrighty. So the last thing I want to just make that clear, so you guys recognize we're just planting seeds. Don't get so caught up with what people are saying and what other people are doing or anything like that. Okay. One thing I was going to read you off real quick. Ray Higdon said this. He said, if you really want to make a difference, if you really want to make an impact, you'll stop worrying about what other people think. You'll stop being addicted to their responses. Okay. So I want you guys to hold that in your heart. Don't get so caught up with what other people are saying. And just keep doing what you're doing. So I wanted to kind of last thing here, guys, is give you two. So we're going to be going over 3 main skills. So this will probably be like a 3-4 part thing. Okay. The 3 main skills, I put prospecting and inviting in one. They're kind of separate, but I'm putting it into one. Maybe feeding off of each other. We'll see how we'll do that next week. Prospecting and inviting is number one. The second thing is following up. Okay. And then the third thing is edification, knowing how to edify. So there are tons of trainings and videos that you guys could look up on YouTube. I'm sure if you send me a text, I'll probably point you in the right direction of, maybe where you could watch a video on how to best edify. I'm going to give you my best shot on this call. But I just know that there's other people like Alex Morton, Jason, things like that, do a great job at breaking this information down. But I'm going to give you guys on this call just a couple things when it comes to prospecting, and kind of open it up if you guys have any questions. So start to think about those questions that you have when it comes to prospecting and inviting. Okay. There's actually, I listened to, if you guys know who Tim Sloma is, he's Chairman 10 with Mike Navarrete. They're great. They're phenomenal. I love listening. I love listening to them speak. But they broke down a call one time and they were like, there's 7 main skills. I'm not going to go into them because then you guys are going to some of y'all are going to get super caught up with the 7 and not the one that I'm talking about. Okay. But prospecting and inviting is what we're going to talk about real quick today. Okay. How I look at prospecting is you got to start conversations. You got to start planting those seeds. You got to find people. Okay. And you got to pique their interest and you have to see if they're open. Let me see if I don't really have anything on my screen to show you guys, but I'll share it just so you guys can see what I might type. Okay. Okay. I know this is really much, but I'll just type some things for you if we need to. Okay. So prospecting and inviting. So prospecting, the way that I see it is you are starting new conversations. Okay. You're starting new conversations, you're piquing interest. I'll write it down. New. I'll talk to the same people every day, every week. Like, let them go. Like, let your homie go. It's okay. They will be here in a year. And if they're in the same spot and they're open, they're coachable, you can help them. Okay. This is what we're doing when we're prospecting. Okay. You're finding, I didn't say this, but you're finding people, starting new conversations, piquing interest, and you're just seeing if they're open. That's it. I'm not trying to convince anybody. Write that down if you think that this is about convincing. It's not. I'm not convincing anybody to learn a skill that multiplies your money. You crazy? Like, you have to, like, if you don't see that, you have a problem. Okay. So prospecting, finding people, starting new conversations, piquing their interest, okay, and seeing if they're open. I know you guys last night on the call, like, I went over, how to actually like pique interest, how to like open a conversation for a warm market. I can show you guys that. I can show you the cold market. I think you guys all know, but I'll do it for the sake of this call. But I wanted to ask if, like, for me, if you guys have any questions around how to find people, which I don't like to ask that question because I hear a lot of like the coaches and stuff say, what do you mean where to find people? Like, there's people coming out of everywhere. Like, go find them. Like, they're everywhere. Because I think if you just have that desire, you'll find them. It's not a matter of like, oh, where. It's, I don't know. It's like a mentality. It's like, I'm gonna go find them. Like, if you really want something, you'll figure it out. So, I mean, like, the best examples I can give is, like, I love to use Gary Vee's page on both Facebook and Instagram to find new people. I know Mason and I were having a conversation of like how to find people locally. I know, Mason, you live in Utah, and they're, sports freaks with like college sports. So if you have like, if you go on Facebook and you find some like groups, like fan page groups or whatever, or like the college groups or whatever, I promise you'll probably find some really dope and driven people, or whatever your adjective is. Okay. You'll probably find some people on there, and it's not about getting a yes right away. It's about planting that seed. And you do that every day, 5-10 people every day. Okay. So you could do that. You could go on Instagram. I know that there's like different hashtags that you can find. Like there's so many different ways that you can do this. I keep it simple. I go to Gary Vee's page on both Facebook and Instagram. That's just my system. Y'all are gonna probably take it and everyone's gonna get the same messages. Nah, it's not like that. Like there's like tens of thousands of people that like everybody's post. So it's all good. And maybe they get hit with the same message 3 times and it's like, oh, like, is this a sign? Like, should I be talking this, taking a look at this? So it's not really about like where to find people. It's just like, do you have a desire? We talked about that earlier. Go find them. Go find the people. They'll come. Go build the boat. They'll come to you. Okay. That's a new strategy. All right. So, and I also think too, like think about like what's popular or important in your area, or even like what you're into in your area. Like Marin, I know that you like to hike and you do, your outdoor thing. I'm sure that there's groups in Arizona about that you can connect and relate to, and then be able to, show this to them, pique their interest, all that good stuff. You just type that in the chat. That's crazy. Yes. So, there's so many different things. Okay. So this is how I see prospecting. It's not really see if they're open. I think that's more inviting, but we'll keep that there. Okay. And then inviting, this is more, I would say, see if they're open. Okay. I guess this is kind of both. Find people, start new conversations. When you're starting that new conversation, you are piquing their interest, but it's still like when you go to invite, no, I was right. When you go to invite, they're already open. Because the invite is actually getting them to see a video. Okay. So that initial conversation could sound something like this. Let me pull up my tab. Okay. Hey, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what's up? Alex, send. And then I say, I know this is super random, but you seem really driven about your goals. Are you open to learning how to put your money to work? If not, no worries. Are you open to learning how to put your money to work? Are you open to taking a look at a way to multiply the money you're already making? Are you open to taking a look at a way to increase your income? Like there's multiple different ways that you can say this. Okay. The thing is like, and I say this all the time, this is only weird if you think it's weird. You're not going to be postured if you come in with that mentality, if you come in with that attitude. Like it's not weird. It's only weird if you think it's weird. I think about what Alex Morton thinks about, or what Jason thinks about. Jason, I'm sure Jason doesn't really do this. He prospects in a different way now because of his credibility and his leverage. But Jason would like manually prospect. I remember I was on a couple calls a few years ago with him, not personally, but it was like a group call. And I remember he was teaching how he would prospect, opening up conversations. Some of you guys know who Matt Green is. Matt Green does this. He was the one who kind of really opened my eyes to like doing this. Okay. This is however you're going to see it. Okay. So, it's only going to be awkward if you think it's awkward. It's not. I can't even tell you how many conversations I've done. Like I don't think I'm at a point of mastery, but I've definitely have done this plus 1,000 plus times. Okay. I get yeses. I get people that are actually open. The process is now like it's following up and getting them to build that trust with you, because it's not going to happen over one text. It's repetition with anything. Okay. But that's kind of like an opening message that I do for cold market. Hey, I know this is super random, but you seem really driven about your goals. Maybe you customize it to what you see on their page. Okay. Maybe you say something specific about what you saw from their page. Okay. Maybe you can throw that in there. And I'm not trying to like build this long. John Melton yesterday, Ray Hagin even talks about it. Like all these guys talk about it. You don't need to build all this rapport. One, I don't have time for that. Two, I don't have time to do that with people that aren't even qualified, that aren't even like open. Like you're going back and forth with somebody that isn't even open to this. They're giving you a hard time. They're still skeptical. You want to like kind of get skepticism out the way, at least most of it. Go send a voice note. Like as soon as I get a reply back, I try to send like at least a short voice note to clear the air. Okay. And I show my personality, I show my energy in that voice note. And then plus most of the time they go check out your page anyways. In that first 5-10 seconds, probably less. I think it's like 3 to 5, maybe even 2 seconds. They're gonna tell, you know, if you're somebody that's worth following or whatever. Okay. Is this person real or whatever it is? Cool. So it's all in your mindset, it's all in your perspective, it's all in your attitude. So I'm inviting and I'm using keywords. If I would you. Okay. If I shared with you a quick video that breaks down what I do, would you check it out? There's so many different things that you could say, but that's just a quick example. I'm super busy right now, but I can schedule some time with you. If you can watch a quick video that breaks down what I do, would you be free to watch it? Okay. If I send you a quick video, would you take a look? Would you give it a watch? Whatever. But you always want to be inviting with this. If I would you. Okay. Because if you guys watch SJ, she's killing it, by the way. But SJ, when I watch her post that she does on her story, she will, and she learns from all these guys too. When she goes to like ask you a question, like she doesn't just put stuff out there. She says, if you're looking for this, you should probably take a look. I can send you some information. It's not, let me give you all this information, make a decision. It's if you're looking for this, then I'll send you some information. Okay. It's always like putting them in a position of like, you have a choice, not I'm trying to sell you, I'm trying to convince you or any of that. Ball's in your court. Shoot your shot or what? Okay. So this is inviting. If I would you. I'm not going to get into the follow-up. I'm not going to get into any objection handling today. I'm not going to get into edification. We're going to say that for the next few calls. But I wanted to kick it off with this because starting with the mindset of where you're at, where's your heart at, and then getting into like the process of you're just planting seeds. The process is going to build you, but first it's going to break you. Okay, it's going to break you down. It's like a muscle. You guys can see my baby muscle. Okay, it's like a muscle. It's got to be broken down first to grow back stronger. And that's what you're doing here. But if you don't work out at least, consistently every day, you guys get my point. I'm not going to work biceps every day, but you guys get my point. Okay. If you're not working out every day, like you're not building that muscle, if you're not at least taking a look at, your prospects and following up every single day, like you're not gaining that consistency, that repetition, that level of mastery that you need. Okay. One last thing that I'll share with you guys, and I want to go over some announcements with y'all, and we'll wrap up this call. They said on the call yesterday with John Melton, he was like, go talk to like 100, go have like 150 conversations. Don't do that in one day. Go stretch that out to the course of, 30 days, 60 days, whatever. I wouldn't even say stretched out that long. That's a long time. 30 days. Okay. But go have 150 conversations because you want to, I say don't stretch it out that long because you don't want, you want to condense time. Repetition happens like brick by brick every day. Not, I'm going to stretch this out. Let's condense time. Okay. But go have 150 conversations. I promise you go do that. Your first conversation is going to look completely different than your 150th conversation. Like black and white. You're going to look at that first conversation and like cringe. Like, oh, I said that. Oh my God. Like I look back, some of you guys don't know who this is, but if you guys know who Troy is, I remember my first conversation with him was in December of 2016. And I was sending him voice notes. Guys, I was like 30 days into the business and I was sending voice notes. It was bad. It was good that I was doing that, but it was bad. I listened to him and I was like, oh my God, you sound awful. Don't ever go back to that. I'm so glad that you grew from that. But like, you got to start somewhere. And I share that with you guys because you're not going to sound pretty in the beginning. Hopefully this is your beginning, your for real beginning, and we're going to move forward from this. But you got to start somewhere. Okay. So 150 conversations, you're not even going to notice the difference, or you're going to know like a huge difference from the beginning to that 150th conversation. Even with like trading, you guys know this. Hopefully taking your practice trades, okay? Or you're on your way. That first trade that you take and the awareness that you have with that 100th trade, that 200th trade that you take, is black and white. Like, it's completely different. So that's what I got for you guys on this call. The next call that we're going to do on Saturday, and hang tight because I have a couple things I just want to share with you. I'm going to turn off the recording in a second. But the next call, we're going to talk about those next layer. I'm going to build on the invite a little bit more. I just don't want to make these calls too long. I'm going to build on the invite a little bit more and then the follow-up. Okay. And then we're going to go into edification. And really on some of those calls, I want to make it like an open discussion so you guys can ask some more questions. But that is what we're going to look forward to on the next calls.